Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee Books and Rain. I'm Rachel with my big thing of water. Yes, it is blue. It is some sort of like Weiler's brand water additive. It's really tasty. It's some sort of like cosmic popsicle or something. I don't remember, but it's super tasty. But we have that instead of coffee right now because it's kind of later in the evening. I probably don't need the coffee. We don't have any rain either, but guess what we do have? Books and reviews. And we're going to dive into the book of the moment, which is The Museum of Magic by Beth Revis. Now, I ran across Beth Revis not very long ago. I was, enjoying one of her, I think it was a three novella. I'm trying to remember. Well, it was kind of sci-fi and it was really fun and I had a great time with it. So when I saw her name pop up again, I was like, all right, I got to pick it up. I got to see what's going on. And so the other one is the Chaotic Orbits 1, 2, and 3. And so I know for sure I've done How to Steal a Galaxy, and I think I did the third one as well, unless I forgot it. But I think I've done the Chaotic Orbits, at least books 2 and 3. So enjoyed them, had a good time, and so wanted to read this one, which is more of a fantasy novel for, I would say, probably a little closer to YA. Well, I have some feelings about it, so we're going to talk about it, but we're going to dive into the summary first and we'll go from there. The Museum of Magic by Beth Revis comes out, well, first published December 1st, 2022, but it is, I think that's why I have it now, is going to be released in another edition. Let's see. Yeah, Tantor Media has released the audiobook of it, or will be releasing the audiobook of it. I did have the audiobook version of it, so just letting you guys know. But Emmy Castor grew up in a small town near Salem. Her home is centuries old, originally built by an ancestor renowned for witchcraft. Her grandfather converted the house into the Museum of Magic, collecting the arcane and putting it on display for all to see. But Emmy knows one thing for absolute certain: magic is not real. But when a fae boy named Puck appears inside her home, the broken remains of a centuries-old witch bottle at his feet, at nearly the same time a hunter arrives on her doorstep, weapons drawn. Ghostly shadows call to her from the mirror, and Emmy's grandfather is missing. Perhaps kidnapped by nefarious fae, perhaps victim to those who prey on magic. History hides the truth. Puck tells Emmy that she has the power to protect magical beings. He's fae, but he's also her only ally, and together they explore the real-life history of witchcraft mingled with the unknown influence of the fae. Emmy must reconstruct the witch bottle, save her grandfather, and maybe even fall in love, but she has to be careful. You can never trust a fae. So, there's a lot going on in this book, and one of my biggest critiques, and I kind of wish it had been flushed out a little bit more, is there's a lot going on, and the way we seem to get from point A to point B to point C is not always clear. Now, Emmy, she is literally helping her grandfather in a witch museum about one of her ancestors. And yet she doesn't believe in magic. That was like the very first thing she said. She just absolutely knows magic isn't real. And I'm just like, okay, so. But within 5 minutes of the audiobook, of course she's confronted with magic. And I'm just like, okay, I don't even know why we had to go that direction of like, magic's not real. Well, here it is, slaps you in the face, and of course it's real. I think she should have at least, like, okay, my personal thought is she should have been cautiously suspicious. Like, it could have been real. My ancestor was potentially a witch, But I mean, I get the idea that magic is just science we haven't fully explained yet. Okay, fine, whatever. But I love the idea of magic. Like, if someone told me, yeah, magic's real, I'd be like, hell yeah. Like, I'm not gonna be one of those, oh, yeah, no. If someone told me, hey, there's some ghosts around the corner, I'm like, oh man, that's so cool. I am not a disbeliever. I will pretty much believe anything. I'm not saying I'm gullible. I'm just saying my mind is so open that you could probably fit an entire filing cabinet of, I guess, speculative things inside of it. I'm not saying I'm a conspiracy theorist because I don't believe that hard in things, but I'm totally open to the fact, sure, why not? Like, that's how I feel about it. So for her to be like, "Oh no, magic's not real. I just work in this magic shop, this museum of magic, and magic's not real." And I was just like, "Okay, I don't really enjoy that aspect of it." But quickly, she is confronted with pretty much what I would call a witch hunter and pretty much a fae. So she's going to have to learn pretty quickly that witches and magic and fae and all the other kind of creatures of lore are pretty much real. Like, she's going to have to kind of figure it out. Now, I think the premise of the book was incredibly cute, but I mean, you definitely saw that Emmy and Puck were going to kind of fall for each other a little bit. And I'm still a little bit frustrated with how the book ended because I didn't feel like there was just a lot of closure. Now, prefacing that with the fact that this says it's book number 1 of a Museum of Magic series. I don't know how many books there may potentially be in this series. I don't know if it's a duology. I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy. I can't tell you. I can just tell you the end of this book did not give me very much closure, and I was left to the point where I was just like, is that how we're going to leave it? So, I mean, I get it, but I mean, I'm going to give it 4 stars because I did enjoy it, but her thinking like that, oh yeah, no, magic's not real, and then of course immediately we have to jump into like, okay, yeah, sure, magic's real. Like, that was a little annoying. I love the narrator. The narrator is somebody that I know I have heard her narrate before, and so loved that so much. She did a fantastic job, and I just, like, we do dive pretty quickly into the action. Now, one of the things is, and we kind of learn it from the beginning, is that Emmy's grandfather has gone to, like, England, or, I mean, he's gone to Europe for some particular reason. And he said he was going to be gone for the summer. But now Emmy is convinced, and I'm not even sure where along the way we decided that he was kidnapped or how we even got there. We didn't get any sort of like ransom note or anything, but all of a sudden she is just convinced her grandfather's been kidnapped, even though, like, I don't know. like we didn't have just a ton of like arrows pointing in directions. Now, another aspect was that I really kind of thought that we were going to learn about like these witches through history, or women who had been, claimed, like they didn't claim, they were accused of being witches, and only to learn that they were like mortal women. And then take their stories back to this museum to give it more, I don't want to say ammunition, but give it more merit, give it more gravitas in order to make it more of a lucrative place for tourists to come to. And, like, fine, I get it. Like, maybe we're not working towards that yet, but I would love to see that for this particular store, because we are learning about and like to what level these women really existed, I'm not sure, but I am pretty certain that there were absolutely 100% women who were persecuted for being a witch, who were not practicing any sort of anything other than maybe some herb lore, or maybe helping women in childbirth, or gosh, I think some of them might have been just making beer. oh no. I mean, I'm just saying, it's like that's where some of the lore came from anyway. And that's women were accused, like, your neighbor's cow passed away, so it must be your neighbor because they must be jealous of you, so they must have put a curse on you, so let's burn the wife. Like, the sheer, like, I don't know. I don't know how we get to that point in logic. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of it in current political climate where it's like there is no logic applied to how we got from point A to point B, but clearly someone did not use any like clear logic to get from to those points. And so I felt like a lot of this book does that. And I don't want to say that in like a super negative way, but it is a little bit negative from my perspective because how this particular character thinks through certain moments and scenarios to figure out the next step on this mystery is not incredibly clear. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense in my personal thoughts. The ending is incredibly abrupt. Someone else also says the ending is incredibly abrupt. It's like the character, or it's like the writer decided, oh, I'm going to make this into a series, so let me just cut it off here. It's going to leave the people wanting more. Not really. I mean, yes, I'm going to read the next one because I would like to know what happens. But if I hadn't enjoyed the story as much, then I probably would not. I probably wouldn't be interested in picking up the next book in the series because for me, that's where the pacing felt a little off. I do like weaving in some of Shakespeare's Macbeth and Hamlet and other kind of quotations into this. I like that we do seem to weave in some other like witch lore, fae spirits, like will-o'-the-wisps and jack-o'-the-lanterns. And yeah, so that one was really cute when we kind of got a little Jack and he popped up and then he dropped his lantern and I was like, oh no, his lantern. So I felt really bad. I was like, oh no, his lantern. But that was, I mean, I was just like, I really love those cute little characters. Those are some of my favorite characters. They're little side characters. They really add a lot of personality. For me though, I don't know. There's something about Emmy that not saying, I don't know. There's something about her that it made me hard to like her a lot. Okay, yeah, so here we go. Lindsay kind of states it. She likes the main character for the most part. She feels like it's hard to make a 17-year-old girl who's lost her mentor not super whiny. She's a little whiny. Maybe not super whiny, but she's way more whiny than I wanted. And I guess I didn't realize that she was only like 17. I guess I thought she was a little bit older. I wasn't certain. Yeah, so that's my personal thinking. Now, this particular person seems to also have had either an ebook or what have you. So she did deduct a star for the typos and formatting errors in this book. But I think if this book released as an ebook back in 2022 and we're moving towards a print book, a lot of those are probably going to be corrected. So I'm very hopeful that they will be corrected. And I had the audiobook, so of course, I didn't get any of the typos or formatting errors in the audiobook. I thought the narration was very well done. And I felt like we were building up to some stuff in the ending, but we were just left wanting. And it wasn't really like a sort of moment. It was more like a, that's where you're going to leave it? Okay, well, fine. But that's kind of how I felt about it. Now, I like it. I like the book. I like the premise of this book. I think we need to clean it up just a little bit because, like I said, there's a lot going on and a lot of, like, we're not very linear in how we're getting from point A to point B in certain ways of thinking throughout the book. Like like I said, when she's trying to put this mystery together, it's not very intuitive, either for the reader or for Emmy. And yet, this girl who doesn't believe in magic, or who said she didn't believe in magic, and so she's only been believing in magic for like, what, 3 days? She, she all of a sudden not only believes in magic, now potentially has magic, now potentially is like a pretty potentially powerful witch. I don't, like, I was like, okay, we need to kind of figure some of that out. And she just seems totally okay, like going from 0 to 100 in the I don't believe in magic to believing in magic. Like, she is totally fine. She has almost no hesitation. Like, almost no hesitation. Like I said, it was like 5 minutes, and then we were like, we're fine with it. I'm like, it's fine. Like, okay. So overall, that's probably my biggest critique of this particular book. I when I run across the second book in the series, I will bring that on board and we will talk about it too. Because I do like Beth Revis's writing. There is something about having characters that have to work together, who seem to have an attraction to each other, but also tend to rub each other the wrong way. She does have kind of that sort of like niche that she falls into, because we saw that in the Chaotic Orbit series as well. It's like they're not like those characters, kind of enemies, kind of lovers, lots of attraction, definitely annoying each other constantly, and I still saw some of that in this as well. This just felt a little bit younger, a little bit more YA, so a little less less mature in the way they kind of come about it, I guess you could say. But with all of that being said, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't liked and subscribed already, I hope you will consider it. And with all of that, I will see you all on the next page. I hope you have a great one.